everyone. I'm Glenda Denler from TopNotch Legal, and I'm the Senior Legal Advisor at TopNotch Legal. Today we're going to be talking about embedded networks. You may ask, what is an embedded network? Well, an embedded network is a vehicle that can be used with multi-tenanted environments to acquire or to purchase utilities at bulk and on-sell it to the residents. When I talk about multi-tenanted environments, I'm really referring to body corporate situations, owners corporations, or in South Australia they're known as strata corporations. Sometimes these environments can be industrial parks, they can be retail shopping centres, probably most of them are domestic situations like high-rise buildings with numerous apartments in them. And they're not always body corporate situations. Sometimes, as in commonly with retail centres, it could be a large corporation owns the retail centre and has multiple tenancies within that centre. Now, these embedded networks are operated quite successfully along the eastern seaboard and in South Australia. I got involved with them through my work, and I consider it a privilege to be working in this area because I find it fascinating as a lawyer, but also I can see the benefits to body corporates with these embedded networks. Now, I'm going to be interviewing a few people over the next few weeks. I will be interviewing Andrew Mclain from Energy On, they are an embedded network operator and also provide billing services for embedded networks. I'll then be talking with James Pearce from Embedded Network Solutions, and they are they are embedded network managers. This is a new role under new legislation which is coming into effect as we speak. But I'm going to start off with Julie Mclain from Ace Body Corporate. Julie is a body corporate manager and has been working in the area of embedded networks for quite a number of years and has a vast range of experience about how these operate. And she gets to see them from the point of view as a manager, working both with the operators and also with all the occupants in the environment. So welcome, Julie. It's great to have you along today.
Hi, Glenda. Thanks. Great to be here.
So tell us, Julie, what do you see are some of the advantages of an embedded network?
Well, when the body corporate is in control of the embedded network, that means that they are the beneficiary. That means they also then have a choice to decide whether they want to offer rock bottom electricity prices. So if they're an environmentally zero carbon-based body corporate, then they may choose to offer the best deal possible. They also may choose to deliver green. But if also they can deliver market competitive prices, and then the surplus that they would receive in that process could then be applied to the maintenance of the infrastructure and thereby bringing back a benefit to all owners. If your body corporate is not in control and therefore not the beneficiary, then you might like to, and they're not charging competitive market prices, then that might be the signal to start looking at how to renegotiate or terminate that contract.
Okay. So how is the retail rate set? Tell us about that.
So the retail rate is set after the parent meter or the gate meter for the property. Once that contract has been put in place from the retailer, we then know how much we're purchasing our electricity price for. Once we know that rate, we can then look at, again, depending on what the purpose of the embedded network is, whether it's to deliver rock bottom prices or whether it's to deliver market competitive pricing, then we would then look at set a rate somewhere that would cover off that purpose. Once that's been decided what the dollars or cents per kilowatt hour is going to be, then that information goes usually to one of the members of the committee who models it using their own usage plus the common property usage, and then puts a recommendation to the committee who considers holistically how that's going to apply to the body corporate and the impact, and then decides to adopt or amend that recommended rate. And then that is set with Energy On or your other service provider, and then that's how the billing then will go out from there.
Sounds a very fair way to set the price. And tell us, what's your role in this?
Well, as the body corporate manager, and if my body corporate is the beneficiary and in control of the embedded network, my role is to make sure that that network can run as efficiently as possible. So I need to support the embedded network service provider to make sure that when a lot changes hands, that the new owner knows that they're an embedded network and that the embedded network provider gets those details so they know to update their records. I also need to then educate the real estate agents, because if we've now got a tenant who's moved in, they need also to know that it's embedded network. When we have power outages, we'll be notified by the service provider. We have to make sure that communication goes out to everybody as well. We also have annual reporting, so that the annual reporting on the performance of the embedded network needs to be part of the annual general meeting, and of course the information on rates and rate reviews needs to go to and from the committee. So the body corporate manager is involved in all of those processes.
I can see that. And tell us, what sort of problems have you encountered?
Well, over the few years, I certainly have seen problems with contracts, like contracts that haven't been set up fairly or even written sufficiently well to know what the rates are that they can charge, what the termination date is, what the tenure is, etc. So the setup of the contract, unfair contract conditions have been a problem. Management of debtors has been a problem as well. So it's important to make sure that you've got systems and processes that will track that management of debtors, and that's often related to the change of tenancy as well. Yes. So that's why it's very important to keep control of that. Yes. Also, where you've got multiple sites within the one scheme, to not have different tariffs, like different people being charged different rates in different parts of the scheme, because that sets up a problem about you're paying what and I'm paying this. So, so very much important to make sure that it's fair across the whole scheme.
Great. Thank you, Julie. Okay, so that's just a little summary today of. You can see some of the benefits that you can have with an embedded network. But one of the things I picked up on what Julie was saying was how important it is to have those contracts reviewed, have them checked, because there's lots of little problems. And I have acted in a number of areas and situations where a corporate situation might be stuck with a contract that wasn't fair. And of course, we now have a new unfair contracts regime in place, which can be wielded against these types of contracts. So next week, we're going to be talking with Andrew Mclain from Energy On, and we will look at the role of embedded network operator. Thank you for watching.